like to talk about my digital art process. And we're just gonna go ahead and start. Let's waste no time at all. Okay, so first you have to start off, you don't have to, this is what I'm doing. I start off with a sketch, and in this case I use a sketch that I had sketched out in my sketchbook. But sometimes I'll sketch on the computer. It's just this time I had a sketch in my sketchbook that I liked, and I decided to go with that one. And you I set the layer to, I lower the opacity of the layer, and then I complete my line art. And it depends. Sometimes I use a brown or a black. In this case I'm using a blue, and I'll do it later. I'm not doing it right now. I'm using a pen that has pressure sensitivity because I like varied line weight, and I think it looks nice. And also this particular pen, you can see how big the brush size is, but I can get some really thin lines with it. And this is a brush that I used, I think, for the first time on this drawing, and I really like it because I don't have to change my brush size all the time, so it's really nice. And sometimes I don't really jump right into the line art like I did in this case. Sometimes I'll tighten up my sketch, but I didn't need to this time, so I just went ahead and completed the line art. And yeah, I really like how I do her locks. I think those are pretty nice. So then after that, I'll select the surrounding area around the sketch, around the line art, and I'll invert it, and then I will fill in the area on a different layer, of course. And also, you can see here I just changed the layer style. Layer style is what it's called. I set the layer to shade so that the line art would look good no matter what color I use underneath it. It would make it a little darker. And that blue color that you saw me use, I find it works really good with skin tones. Darker skin tones. I haven't really tried it with lighter ones, but yeah. So I'll select the area and fill it in with a base color, and then I'll fill in the individual parts of the subject. Like I filled in her skin and her locks and her eyes, and I didn't really have to do her shirt because the base color that I used was the color of her shirt. So I didn't have to do that, and so just color all the things, and because I have the layer selected, I don't have to worry about coloring outside the lines, which is really cool. And then after that, start shading, and usually I'll shade with that blue color that I showed you, that I did the line art with, but I had started shading and didn't realize I hadn't changed the color, so But anyway, I'll set my layer to shade or multiply. Usually shade, and I'll use that blue color, but because I was using a brown, I think I used multiply, or I might have just lowered the opacity. I can't remember. I drew this last week. But anyway, normally I'll use a blue color, and I'll set my layer to shade, and I will just go to town and just shade all of the things. And I think this was the one that took me the most time to complete, if I recall correctly. And I'm going to do a little mini tutorial. For soft shading, you can block in the colors with a hard brush and then blend it out with a softer brush. Or you can start out with a softer brush and just shade like that. And in this case, I wanted to go for a cel shaded look, so I just used a hard brush and made sure that things looked neat and clean and fresh and didn't smell like onion rings. And you see there I did a little soft shade in there, but for the most part it is just so shaded. And I wanted it to have a cartoony look, which my style is cartoony anyway, so didn't have to try too hard, but I just wanted to do cel shading this particular time. So yeah, a hard brush and make sure things look neat, and actually use a reference. I think the artist's name is Piccolo, and he has a really good reference for how to shade the face, and I used it for this. And the next thing that I do after I do my shading is I add highlights, and I've already started doing it, and I decided to do some interesting lighting things with this particular drawing, and I probably should have used a reference, but I didn't. But Normally I'll just use a soft brush and I'll set my layer to luminosity, and I will select a light color. Normally a warm color for the skin, but in this case I wanted to be fancy, so I selected a cool blue. Well, I guess blue is cool. Well, it could be cool or warm. What? But I used a blue color and I set my layer to luminosity, and I just went to town and did what I felt needed to be done. Like I said, I probably should have used the reference, but I didn't. And so on the left side of her face, I used the blue color, and on the right side, I used a color that I would normally use for shading. Well, for highlights. Warm, really light warm color, like a really light yellow or really light orange or something. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think from this point on, I just kind of tweak things to make the drawing what I wanted it to be. And this is my OC Kayana, and I hope I will write as well. I have a story idea for it, and maybe one day I'll get a chance to write it, but as of right now, her story is not really being told right now because I'm working on this other one and I can't do both of them at the same time. I tried, and no, that does not work, so I will not do that. But yeah, that's how I approach digital art. Yeah, that's usually how I do it. Sometimes I go for a more painterly style, but normally I use line art and all the things, and this is just what I do and how I like to roll, so. Oh, I almost forgot. After I'm satisfied with everything, or after I think I'm satisfied with everything, or feel like I'm done, I'll go ahead and sign it. And I like to sign on a luminosity layer with a light color because I like the shinies. And yep, that's how I do my digital artwork. And I've been doing digital art for I think 3 years, so it's not that long, but it's not really a short period of time either. It's just right. Anyway, this is a finished illustration. I actually ended up tweaking some things, like her eyes are a little off, but they're fine now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.